Coffee stain badge on a lanyard string. Hotel ballroom, buzzing, fluorescent wings. Name tags, crooked inside jokes. We live on acronyms and conference notes. Late night panels, early flights, still swapping war stories under dim lights. If the world goes sideways, who they gonna call? The weirdos taking roll in the expo hall. IAEM talks tonight. Yeah, we laugh so we don't lose our minds. Blue skies days to the worst headline. We're the ones still on the run. IAEM talks tonight.
Hello and welcome to IAM Talks, and I'm Todd DeVoe. And man, you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on here, and I think the big one here is we are having an election coming up on June 8th is when it opens up. That's Monday, if you listen to this on Friday, June 8th. And it is exciting that we're going to see some people put their names in to take a national office and some of the regional offices today. So today we're discussing a topic that sits right at the heart of what IAEM truly is. It is a volunteer organization with volunteer leadership. And IAM exists because members chose to give their time, their energy and knowledge and experience to something larger than themselves, larger than the organizations they work for, and larger, than sometimes the profession. And what I mean by that is we are a group of people that have come together that have dedicated thousands and hundreds of thousands of hours actually to emergency management, and we're here to be the voice of that. And so that's what I mean by this. And every committee, every caucus, every task force, every working group, they all bring energy and they all bring expertise. And they all bring experience to IAM. And I'm excited about that. I truly am. Every program that we have is powered by volunteers. But the question is why do busy emergency managers volunteer to do more? What motivates someone that already has a demanding career? I'm sitting there getting ready to go into the World Cup on Monday. And so by the time you listen to this, we're going to be in the mix of it. And we get in there and we mentor college graduates. We mentor people who are trying to break into emergency management. And we mentor each other to make ourselves better, make the profession better. And that's really exciting for me. So volunteer leadership often gives us far more than we ever expected. It truly does. It's really opened the door for me to meet great people from coast to coast, from Maine to Massachusetts, from Maine to Alaska. I was about to say Hawaii for sure, Guam, over to Samoa, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands. We have emergency managers in the United States all over those areas. So it's really exciting when you get to meet people from all over the country and to learn from them each time that we have conversations about how you do emergency management. And that being said, we look to see bringing those people into the conversation about leadership for the organization. And again, I'm going to go say this a few times, so this won't be the last one you're going to hear this. But I'm encouraging you to run or to step up and take leadership roles, because without you, not the person to the left of you, not the person to the right of you, without you, this organization means nothing. Without you stepping up and doing leadership, who will? Right? And I challenge you to this today. I have got to meet so many great emergency management leaders throughout the years as a leader in IAM. First, when I was just a part of a caucus, then I got to really get mentored by some people who are in the position of regional presidents, and then encouraging me to run for regional presidents, and encouraging me to run for IAM second vice president, and then this year, obviously in November, moving up to the presidency. None of this is about me, right? Or about Josh or about Mary Jo. I'm going to speak for them for a little bit. It's about helping the organization grow and become stronger. Carrie and I talk about that a lot, about how our time helps the organization become stronger, and your time helps the organization become stronger because without you, we don't have an organization. And so most join IEM because, well, they wanted to learn, they wanted to connect with people, they wanted to grow professionally. But at some point, many members reach out and they go, "I'm gonna make a difference, and I'm gonna help the next person behind me." And it's not what, to borrow the phrase, it's not what IAM could do for me professionally. It's what can I do for IAM? What can I do for the profession of emergency managers? And for some of us, someone opened the door like me and answer questions and encourage me to go forward and to pursue this new opportunity. Some are pushed into leadership. I've had some people who I've spoken to who are like, "Yeah, didn't know what I was getting into," and said, "Yeah, sure." And I just raised my hand to say I'll help out. And next thing you know, they're leading a region. There's also a sense of responsibility that comes for being part of leadership in this organization. And yes, we talk for IAM, we talk for the members of IAM, we talk this organization is for the members. But in some cases, this organization is really helping solidify what emergency management as a profession. And I don't want to be as bold to say we speak for the profession, but we're one of the organizations out there that do. And there's just a handful of us that kind of get in there and do this. And, you know, do we misstep sometimes? Absolutely, right? Everybody does. But as a group together, we come together, we say, this is what we want to be. And we're going through that right now. Um, it's also a commitment to serve others. Yes, that's our job on a normal basis. But when in the profession, it's the professional growth that we're looking at. It's the professions, it's like people that come behind us, and it's the commitment to serve them and to have them understand what we did beforehand. Because we're unlike other professions, when we leave the job, sometimes there's 6 months or longer before the person comes behind us. And so we need to be there for them as they're learning and give of ourselves. So that's what this really is. Everybody, no matter who that stepped up into this role to sit at the seat as a regional president, as a secretary, as a treasurer, as the USA president, vice president, or vice presidents, I should say. Um, they all stepped in because they wanted to do something better to help everybody. And I really believe, heart of hearts, that those that take these roles, they're not doing it for themselves. It is very altruistic when it comes to it. We see the challenges through a broader lens. And volunteer leadership helps also develop confidence. You learn to facilitate meetings. You learn how to collaborate with people with wildly different opinions of things, right? Like I said, you have somebody who's an emergency manager from Maine talking to somebody who's an emergency manager from Hawaii. They have completely different things that are going on, wildly different perspectives that's going on. And it's really cool to be there to have those conversations. And sometimes they have deep, hard debates about emergency management and where we're going. And it's okay to have different points of view. And we can come to consensus and really work through those disagreements and challenges and setbacks. Growth really happens when things are smooth. Happens in turbulence. And, along that line, it's I won't say trauma bonding, but we make good friends doing this volunteer stuff. I've met so many great people, like I said before, and I've become friends with lots of people. And it's amazing to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody from across the country to get advice. Because emergency management can be an isolating profession. We are a lot of us are a shop of one. And who do we bounce ideas off of? As the people that we meet here in this organization, and it's the leaders that we've met in this organization that can really make a difference in how we view things. And IAM creates those opportunities to connect with people, to understand the challenges that we face. And you know what? People seeking advice from us when facing a difficult decision and talking through things. Sometimes, well, it's just about sitting here and having the ear to be able to hear what they have to say. This position also gives you the ability to develop leadership skills beyond your job, beyond that combined box that you're stuck in. when you're like, hey, this is all I can do, what my job description says. Taking on leadership roles within IEM lets you develop those skills that help you with your community, that helps you build other volunteer programs that you may serve or be in charge of. And leading volunteers is very different than leading employees, right? You can't rely on authority. You must rely upon collaborative influence, learn how to build consensus, motivate people who are donating their time. You learn how to move initiatives through collaborative rather than dictation, bringing ideas to the board when you become only one of about 20 votes or so. Um, and you have to convince people that, hey, this project is good. How does that help you? Well, think about going in front of your city council and having to do the same thing. It also helps you show your leadership to your leaders that you have the ability to lead an organization. We have a pretty significant budget, right? We have a pretty significant amount of members that are part of this organization, and we're growing. And that's the stuff that's kind of cool. And many leaders have learned skills through IEM that they apply in their not just their careers, but in their personal life. And one of the things, if you can't pick up and have the time to be an elected leader, you can always be a mentor. I've talked about this a lot, mentoring the new uh, people that are coming behind us, the new emergency managers, whether they're a retread like myself, or if they are someone who's gone through college and has started this opportunity as an emergency manager. They need us to be there. And again, I will repeat myself multiple times when it comes to that. I just want to kind of say that you have the ability to contribute to the future of this profession. Every generation of emergency managers inherits a profession built upon those who became before them. We benefit from the work of the countless volunteers who develop standards, certification programs, educational opportunities, advocacy efforts, and professional networks. And now it's your turn. It's your turn to step up and be part of this great legacy that lays before you. That you can't only just stand on the shoulders of giants, that you become a giant yourself. It's the volunteer leaders help shape our policy. They influence education. They strengthen certification programs, the advocacy for emergency management at every level. They help define what the profession will be in the future. And what we're building today will last for a long time. The satisfaction of helping others succeed. I get so happy when I see others become better and grow and succeed in their profession, succeed in their professional personal life, succeed in leadership roles that they're getting here at IAM. It's such great pleasure to see people who you spoke to. And I'll tell you, I have some great mentors out there, and I love talking to them about what I've done in the past. And some like Keith Harrison, a good friend of mine and a great mentor, has seen me start in the sort as emergency manager and grow to where I am today. And it's people like Ella Stanley and Keith Harrison that really make a difference in my life, and mentors that showed me the way. Also, lessons learned through service with your volunteer roles. Not only does it teach you leadership, but it teaches diplomacy, it teaches you listening, it teaches the importance of transparency and communication. And one lesson that many leaders learn in governance that moves different than in operations, in emergency management operations, speed matters. In association leadership, consensus matters. Progress is often requires collaboration, discussions, compromise, and well, a lesson in humility. Sometimes the best contribution is not your idea. Sometimes, your idea falls flat and you have to go, whoa, how did I present myself? Or maybe the idea just wasn't great. And be able to learn that. And it's okay. It's okay for your ideas not to always go forward because you learn from that process of thinking about it and bringing it forward and arguing for it. So I want to give you some advice for anybody who's considering involvement. If you're thinking about becoming involved in IEM leadership, start small. Join a committee, volunteer for a project, attend meetings, ask questions, find the mentors. Don't wait for, you think you're fully qualified. You know what the qualifications are, and if you meet those qualifications, run. Most leaders don't feel ready when they started. I know I did. When Yuri Graves talked me into running for president, I was honored and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. I was I was thinking about running for vice president, and he's like, no, I want you to run for president, and I was like, okay, and I did it, and I was like, Yuri, thanks for that push, because I think I would have been happy to be your vice president, but thank you for the encouragement. You focus on service rather than titles. I think that's the most important part there. If we all focus on service to each other, service to others, this is a better organization for it. And leadership is something that you demonstrate through your contribution, because every leader here is a volunteer. And so as we close today, I want to leave you with this thought. The greatest benefit to be a volunteer leadership is definitely not the title you hold. It's not the committees that you chair. It's not the conferences that you help organize. The greatest benefit is knowing that because you step forward, someone else had an opportunity. Because you saved that profession, became stronger. Because you invested your time, future emergency managers will be better prepared to meet the challenges ahead. And volunteer leadership is ultimately an act of service. And service remains the most important part of what we do. So the nomination period for IAEM opens on June 8th. That's on Monday, if you're listening to this on Friday. I hope to see your name on that ballot. And thank you for joining IAEM Talks. I'm Todd DeVoe. I want you to stay safe, stay engaged, and well, we'll see you next time. See you on the ballot.
Coffee stain badge on a lanyard string. Hotel ballroom, buzzing, fluorescent wings. Name tags, crooked inside jokes. We live on acronyms and conference notes. Late night panels, early flights, still swapping war stories under dim lights. If the world goes sideways, who they gonna call? The weirdos taking roll in the expo hall. I am Talks tonight.